Good afternoon, everybody. I think we waited a couple extra minutes here, and I think we're going to get ready to go. My name is John DiPolina, and I want to welcome you all to this Zoom meeting, which is the beginning of the 2021 PGA Junior League golf season here at Lyman. You're all part of the biggest program from here to from Maine to Virginia, believe it or not, and I have all of you returning students to thank. I really appreciate that. And we're ready to go. What I'm going to do is I am going to go through an agenda. And if you have any questions, you'll be able to put it in the chat on the right. I'm going to end up turning the chat on as soon as I can figure out how to do that. There it is. And if you have any questions, I'll try to address them as I go along, but know that I'm going to address them for certain by the end. Other thing I ask is if you put it yourself on mute, if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate that. And we'll get started. I am John DiPolina. I am the director of golf here at Lyman Orchards. We have grown our PGA Junior League program from something that was non-existent in 2017 into the biggest program, at least in the northern part of the Eastern Seaboard. Really looking forward to this year, really looking forward to a great season. And without further ado, we'll start. I'm going to introduce you to the coaching staff. If I can do this here. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's our coaching staff for 13U. So 13U is the program that's going to be led by myself, Rsvp, our LPGA apprentice professional, Jason Goldblick, one of the PGA instructors here, and Mr. Dan Hannibal, PGA associate professional. All four instructors will be leading the program. We led it last year to great success. I think Team Andra might have won the crown last year. I'm not sure. But we are all returning for this 2021 season. The 17U will be led by both myself and Greg Murdoch. Greg Murdoch is the head golf professional up at Lyman Orchards Joan Player Course. That's where he resides. That's where the 17U program will reside 99% of the time. So you will see Greg's smiling face up there as well as mine. Coach Andrew Frappier will also be helping out a little bit from time to time with 17U, and we're looking forward to a good season. But these are the coaches. These are your 17U coaches, and these are your 13U coaches. All of the students, all of the juniors, they're all rostered in already. And as I talk about this very important part about the app and how you're going to figure out when matches are and when practices are, I'm going to put on here the rosters. So these are the four teams for 13U. You'll find your son or daughter's name, first name alphabetical on there, and that's going to be their coach, their head coach for the season. All of the head coaches will have two assistants from my staff that'll be helping along. Obviously, we have a pretty good sized team there. I think it's 18 deep, but we'll have a head coach and two assistants helping alongside myself, Andrew, Dan, Jason. That's the 13U rosters. The 17U rosters are right here. And I'll leave that up for a tiny bit, and I'll bounce back and forth so that the parents, you can see where your son or daughter will be. One of the most important things that you can do as a parent is to download this app. The app looks like this. It's Sports Engine. You can get it at the Apple Store. You can get it on the Google Play Store. This is how I schedule. This is how the matches are scheduled. This is when we know what time practices are. This is where we know where to go. This is how we RSVP, and you'll hear me talking about RSVPing shortly, but this is the app that we'll be using all season long. For a lot of you parents, this is something that we had last year, and it was a great success, and you'll hear me talk a little bit about that. But if you haven't downloaded that app, please do so after the meeting. It's Sports Engine is what it's called. Season schedule. There are practices and matches. We know that we have quite a few different opportunities to practice. Let me stop the share there. We know there's a lot of practices, and we know there's a lot of matches. And a lot of the parents have asked, listen, I can't make it to a couple practices, or we're going to be out of town, we're going on vacation. that's fine. I don't really expect the kids and the parents to be able to make it to every match and every single practice. Well, if I don't mind, if someone could make sure you're all muted, if you don't mind, I hear myself talking in the background, if you don't mind. Thank you. Back to the practices. If you can't make a couple practices, it's okay. If you can't make it to all the matches, it's okay. The one thing that we would do is we'd ask you to Rsvp to tell us you're coming or not coming. Practices for 13U. They begin on Wednesday, May 19th. There's been a little bit of talk. When does it start? Wednesday, May 19th for Thursday for 13U. Practices are on Mondays and Wednesdays through match start date. Once the matches do start, we go to one practice a week. That'll be on Wednesdays, and the matches will then be on Sunday afternoons. Practice times are at 4:30 or 5:30 they start. We staggered it this year just so we don't have 80 kids coming at the exact same times with 80 parents fighting for 80 parking spaces. So what we tried to do was stagger it a little bit. There'll be a group of boys and girls coming at 4:30, essentially two of the teams, and then another two teams will come at 5:30. So you're looking at about a 4:30 to 7 practice or a 5:30 to 8 practice, depending on what time your practice starts. 17U, a little different. Practices will begin on June 4th, Friday. There's a reason we started the 17U program much later than expected. The reason is due to the high school schedule. Many of the 28 or so boys and girls are on high school teams, and you're not allowed to play on both teams. Most kids are going to choose high school because they've already been loyal to their high school team since late March. So we decided to push everything back. The practices will start on Friday, June 4th for those older boys and girls. And once that starts up, we'll have Wednesday and Friday practices. Groups for both 13 and 17U are going to be organized by area of the golf course. So we have quite a large practice facility at both the Apple 9 and the Jones Player course. We try to get all the kids to be in a different area so that we're not crowding one area, so to speak. So they'll be separated into the putting green, range bay, chipping, and on the golf course. This goal is to get the kids playing golf. This whole program is about playing golf. We do have practices. We will work on their swings, their putting strokes, but we want to get these kids on the course executing. I liken it to you or I joining a men's club or a ladies' league. There's no lessons involved there. You're just going out there and playing golf and teeing it up with your friends on the first hole. This league does have a little bit of instruction in there, don't get me wrong, but we're trying to really educate the players on how to play the game while they're on the golf course. Juniors are going to almost always play 9 holes of golf, but during practice, you may play 9, you may play 2 or 3. It all depends on how much daylight we have and have we been on the practice range more than the course. There'll be a rotation, so it'll be fair. We'll make sure that the kids get onto the golf course as much as possible during practice time. We ask all the junior leaguers to please walk and use a push cart or carry their bag. I don't want the parents carrying the bag, and I don't want the parents putting the clubs on the back of the carts during practice or matches. This is meant for the kids to learn how to play golf, to get ready for high school golf, and that includes pushing their own bag or carrying their own bag. Moving on to our match schedule. 13U. There are 6 matches scheduled. They're on Sundays from middle of June. It's going to be the Sunday before Father's Day all the way to August 1st. We will take 2 Sundays off in there. Father's Day, we will not have a match. And we will not have a match on the 4th of July. So minus those 2 dates, you'll see that there'll be 6 Sundays where we will have matches. If there are rainouts, we'll schedule accordingly, but I'd like to have the season concluded by August 1st. There might be a chance that rainouts might have to happen on Wednesday evenings during the summer. Matches will start at 2 p.m. and approximately 4 p.m., depending on what team you're on. All of this will be in the app. It'll tell you exactly, we will try to tell you exactly what time to show up for these matches as the season, as I utilize the app more and more, but and I'll talk about that in a little bit. 17U, there's also 6 home matches. But 17U, we're not playing most of the matches on the Apple 9. 17U, 5 of the 6 matches will be either on the Jones or Player course. One of the matches is on Apple 9. 17U, as you noticed last year, all you returning 17U students, we had put together a jamboree style event at other golf courses across the state. So 7 or 8 other head pros have written to me and said that they'd like to engage in this. So for the older kids, that's 17U, we're going to set up some extra matches for you. They are not scheduled right now. They will be scheduled. And when they are scheduled, you'll see them pop up. They're going to be random days. They're not going to be on Fridays. They could be Tuesday morning. They could be Saturday afternoon. It's all to the discretion of the team that's hosting. Some of these private clubs won't allow juniors to play before a certain time. Some of the private clubs have special activities going on, which limits their access to outsiders like us. So we'll play when we are told we can play, and that'll all be on the schedule for 17U. Something I ask all the students to do is wear the proper jersey to the match. I'm sure someone will come in the wrong jersey, but I do put in the app which jersey to wear, whether it's going to be the orange jersey or the blue jersey. Players are welcome to utilize the practice area free of charge 30 minutes prior to their time. We'll have boxes of balls set up here at the Apple 9 and baskets of balls set up or tokens set up at Jones Player. We want the kids to have a great experience here. So warming up like I would for a tournament, they get to warm up, hit some balls, hit some putts, hit some chips, and then they'll be invited to the first tee. Partners will switch from week to week. We think this is important. I know that maybe one boy wants to play with one boy or one girl wants to play with one girl. We try to rotate it around. We want you guys to get a full experience here of meeting other players, making some new friends. The best way to make a friend on the golf course is to play alongside them. So we're going to try to rotate that around. There might be a case where, you play with the same person twice or maybe even 3 times, but we're going to try to make sure that you're playing with different people each week. Siblings, there's parents out there with siblings. We're going to obviously put them together if you want us to. If you told us, listen, break up little Johnny and little Janie, we will break them up. I actually had that request a couple years ago. They didn't want their 2 sons playing together. No problem. We'll break them up. But we'll try to make sure that they're in back-to-back tee times so that you don't have to come and be spread out by an hour, hour and a half. So now to the RSVP thing. We want this experience to be as easy as possible for parents on game day. One of the things that we can do on game day is we can give you exact tee times if all the parents RSVP to tell us they're coming or not coming. So when you download the app, you'll have the option to say, yes, I'm coming. No, I'm not coming. Try not to use the maybe. Maybe really doesn't do much for us. Just try to say yes or no. And then the day before or the morning of, we will send out the exact tee time that you'll be playing. It worked pretty well last year. We had to chase down a couple of parents, which is okay. But we just want to make sure we're locking you in. We know you have lives. We don't want you just to sit around and, waste time here. I know you're here to watch your sons and daughters, so we want to make sure that you're in the exact time if possible. Your child will play 9 holes of golf. Very rarely will they play less than 9 holes of golf. It's one of the beauties of our program as opposed to some of the other programs where they only have you play 6 holes sometimes. You will play 9 holes of golf all 6 weeks during matches. Parents, you do have the choice to walk or ride in a golf cart while your son or daughter is playing. It's one of the beauties of the game. It's one of my favorite parts. Grandparents coming out, family members coming out. I think we had one little girl have 20 spectators last year. So you're more than welcome to come out, walk obviously free of charge. If you do take a cart, we're going to be charging $9 to rent that cart out. We only have 18 golf carts. So there's very limited carts. So if you have a tough time walking, we do suggest obviously taking the cart. If you can walk, we suggest you walk it. We want to save those carts for some of those grandparents that might be coming and wanting to watch the kids play. Parents and spectators, one of the hardest things for me as a parent is not get involved during the game when I'm watching the T-ball game. And I'm going to ask you to do the same in golf. We have really talented coaches here that will coach these kids up. Parents coaching kids slows the game down. And it causes issues amongst parents because you have one parent telling one thing, another parent telling another. I don't want the parents to give any kind of shot advice out there at all to the kids. This has worked very well for me in the 7 years that I've run this program. I'm giving you permission to not say anything. I want you to treat this like you're going to watch a PGA Tour event. We wouldn't dare give Tiger Woods any advice from the sidelines. So I'm going to ask the same thing. Please hang out on the sidelines, watch your son or daughter. Obviously, if they hit a good shot, clap for them and cheer. If they don't hit a good shot, cheer them on like you would a basketball game. But don't tell them, listen, Johnny, hit the 6-iron, not the 8-iron. Or what are you doing? You should be putting when you're supposed to, and you're really chipping. Don't do that stuff. It'll just slow the game down, and it'll actually irritate the kids and make them nervous. As I mentioned earlier, that we ask the kids to either use a push cart or a gas cart. Push cart, they'd love to use gas carts. Push cart or carry their own clubs during the round. We do not want the parents carrying the clubs for the kids. 17U, there is one time where we will shuttle you from hole to hole. That happens when we play the player course. So older kids, there is availability of one shuttle. The guys and gals who played last year, I'm sure you remember that. Match format. So a lot of the parents have asked me, is my son or daughter playing their own ball the whole way? And the answer is no. They'll have that partner. So Johnny and Janie will be partners, and Johnny hits a good one in the middle of the fairway and Janie doesn't hit it so good, they'll take Johnny's. And then on the next time, Johnny hits it in the woods and Janie hits it right next to the hole, well, they're going to take Janie's. It's called a two-player scramble. It's the format of a PGA Junior League, both 13U and 17U. It's basically team golf, which is something that we never had as kids. It was always play your own ball. It can be very frustrating. This takes the edge off the kids, and it really is a great success. It's a lot of fun. Tee boxes. This will be a little different this year than last year. U13 kids, girls, all the girls will play the green tees. So girls, you'll play the green tees. Boys, 12 and 13 years old, you're playing the yellow tees. So once again, the girls will all play the green tees, and boys 12 and 13 years old will play the yellow tees. 17U, it's a little different. The girls will play the red tees, and the boys will play the gold/yellow tees when we have matches here at Lyman on Jones Player. When we have the Apple 9 match, it'll be a little different. The boys will play the orange, and the girls will play the yellow. But once again, we do try to stagger the tee boxes a little bit. We know there's some very beginner boys and girls playing, and they'll be playing those green tees. And then we have some more experienced kids that have come back for 2-3 years, and they're going to play from a little deeper set of tees to even it out. There are jerseys and swag bags coming in with all those numbers that you requested when you signed up. All the kids will have their favorite number on it. The coaches are still picking their team names. We got to figure out 4 fun team names. I leave it up to the coaches to pick something. The National PGA said we had the 4 best team names last year, which is pretty neat. Maybe we'll have the 4 best this year. Yeah, I'm folding. But my hope is that we
call with.
I don't know who's not on mute. If you couldn't ever make sure you're muted, I appreciate it. Thank you. But jerseys and swag bags. So you're going to get these 2 jerseys as well. They're going to be blue and orange, and obviously in the app it'll tell you which one to wear on game day. You don't have to wear the jerseys to practice. In fact, we don't really want you to. We want you to kind of just wear your own gear. But in those swag bags will come a little backpack, a T-shirt, a bag tag, a hat or a visor, whichever you chose. And it's a nice little gift for the kids. It's pretty exciting when we hand out the jerseys prior to the first match. A couple more things to go over, and then I'll address any questions you have. The mask, obviously, we're still living in this COVID-19 pandemic. The policy here at Lyman Orchards is when you're outside, we are not mandating usage of the mask, but when you come inside and when you come to use the bathroom inside, we ask you to wear the mask. So once again, the mask is not mandated outside, but it is mandated inside the pro shop and in the bathroom, please. And the final thing I have to say is golf clubs. Everyone needs their own set of clubs. If you don't have your own set of clubs, or maybe your son or daughter just, wow, they grew 4 or 5 inches over the winter and they need a new set of clubs, I have brand new sets available. I also have used sets available. Come and see me. The new sets are very easy. Pull them off the wall, pay for them, no problem. The used sets, I have them kind of all priced out. You can email me directly, or you can come by and see what I have, and I'll give you a price point on the used sets that I have, especially for the little kids. All right, so I'll start addressing the questions that I've seen in the chat here. And then if anyone else has any other questions at the end, you can certainly address them vocally or through the chat. First question is, can we order new shirts? You're getting 2 new shirts. You will be getting 2 new shirts in about 3 weeks to a month from me. If you want to order extra shirts, I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure if you can actually order extra shirts, but I'd be happy to look into that if that's what you're asking, Cindy. From Holly, is the cart following also okay at the Lyman course too? Yes, it is okay. We just ask you to never go in front of the players. We ask you to obviously not talk to the players, but if you want to drive in a golf cart at Jones and Player and follow your son or daughter around, more than welcome. Oh, we got a team name suggestion. I'll have to pass that along to Andrea, the Intimidating Eagles. We'll see what Coach Andrea says about that. You're putting a little pressure on her. We'll see how she likes that. And are all 13U practices and matches at the Apple 9? The answer to that, Jay, is yes. All the 13U practices will be at Apple 9. All the matches will be at Apple 9. 17U practices all at Jones Player. Matches are all at Jones Player with the exception of 1 match, and that is in the schedule. All right. I will share the screen one more time so that people can see which team their sons and daughters are on. That's the 13U. Once you download the Sports Engine app, you will search for Lyman and then the coach's name that you have there. So if you are Kellen Van Hennick and you search Lyman Team John, you're going to find the team you want to follow because you're on Team John. That's the only team you really need to follow. You won't need to follow any of the other teams. You'll be able to message the coaches directly through there. So if something comes up and your son or daughter can't make it, or maybe there is an issue, you can always privately message us, and you can message the entire group. So that's the 13U roster there. And then the 17U roster is, 17U roster is right there. Okay. A couple more questions have come up. I see here, will you move siblings to the same team? Did I make a mistake and move it? I might have made a mistake. Oh, no, did I make a mistake?
My 2 sons are on 2 separate teams. That's why I'm asking for you, 13. Jesse and Noah Schwartz.
Oh, I made that mistake. Okay. I'll be moving them onto the same team. I apologize about that. I see that now. I'll be moving them. It'll be done right after this session is done.
Thank you.
My
Just
pleasure.
for logistical purposes, it makes it easier.
I'm glad you noticed it because I didn't do that on purpose. Sorry about that.
That's no problem. Thank you.
My pleasure. Matches for 13U is going to be 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. So matches for 13U is 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Your son or daughter will fall somewhere into those slots. So if you're on, you could play at 2:30, you might play at 4:40, but that's when the match starts for your team, either 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. Do they have to wear proper golf attire for practices? Lisa, yes and no. I mean, I do think that they should be wearing the proper shoes out there at all times. I don't suggest flip-flops or Crocs by any means. If they don't have golf shoes, that's okay. Sneakers are going to be fine. I think golf shoes are the best because we make waterproof golf shoes so their feet won't get wet out there after maybe some soggy conditions. But as for the garments, you can wear a t-shirt and shorts. We're okay with it. We have a very relaxed dress code here at the Apple 9, especially Jones Player, older kids. I think you should be wearing a little more golf formal attire, a polo shirt and shorts, or polo shirt and a skirt, or shorts for the girls, I think would be more appropriate. But here at the Apple 9, there is no real dress code. You'll search for your team name on Sports Engine. So I would type in Lyman and then the name of the coach. If you just type in Lyman, I think it'll pop up. If you have any problems with that, you can simply give me, email me, and I'll try to send you a direct link via email on how to sign up. Mark wrote, did you say 17 matches were Friday afternoons? And what were the date ranges for the 17U matches? Yes, they're on Friday afternoons. They're going to start up a little later in the afternoon until kids get out of school. Once they get out of school, they'll start a little bit earlier in the afternoon. June 4th through July 1st or 2nd or 3rd. July 2nd, I think, is the last of it's somewhere in there. June 4th through July 1st. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but that's the time frame for practices. A couple fewer practices for the older boys and girls. A lot of them are coming off high school sports, and then we added those extra matches, those jamboree-style matches, so they'll be able to utilize those. Can you say again, how do we look up each team on the app? Well, I'm going to try to do it at the same time. So if you go to the Sports Engine app, and there's a little magnifying glass, I believe, in the upper right-hand corner. Type in Lyman and then the name of your coach. Let's see if that works. That does not work. Type in Lyman. Lyman Orchards. There's always a kink to work out. All right, I figured it out. You're going to have to type in. You're going to have to type in the words Team Andra or Team John or Team Jason or Team Dan till we get team names. This wasn't a problem last year because last year I ended up having names already picked. So you're going to have to type that in. So search in the magnifying glass in the upper right after you download the app, after you sign up an account. And then you're going to go to Team Dan, Team John, Team Jason, or Team Andrew. That's how that's done. Looks like the final question is associated with email address to our coach automatically. What you can send a private message to them. They have the app. They'll be able to see those messages you send to them. The coaches do have their own email addresses. They're all employees of Lyman Golf. So if you take their first initial, which would be mine, would be J, and my last name, Dipolina@lymangolf.com, you can always reach me via email that way. Andrew Frappier would be A Frappier. Dan Hannibal is D Hannibal. And then Jason Goblick is J Goblick, all at lymangolf.com if you'd like to reach them through email, but you can certainly reach them through the app. It might be even easier. I don't have any more questions on the chat. Does anybody have any questions for me vocally that they'd like to reach out? Where can we find the rule for matches? The rules for matches for PGA Junior League, I have hard copies of the rules for matches. They are, I'm pretty sure, I definitely have them here. And there might be rule books going out to each junior. I'll check on that. That might be part of that packet. If not, I know we can find the rules for PGA Junior League on PGAJuniorLeague.com, PGAJRLeague.com. Well, I am going to upload this to YouTube at the conclusion of, which looks like it's right around the corner here. If there's any other questions, I'd love to hear them in the chat or vocally. If not, I want to thank everybody for their time. I'm really looking forward to the season. Coach Andrew, Dan, and Jason are really excited. I have a lot of good helpers that are going to help out and be assistant coaches here, and we're ready for a good season. How do I join teams on Sports Engine? Once again, to join the team on the Sports Engine, you have to download the app. You need to sign up with an account. And then after that, you need to go to the magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. I will be emailing this hard copy to everyone so that everybody knows which team they're on. And from there, they'll just search Team John, Team Andra, Team Dan, or Team Jason. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And like I said, if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call here at Lyman Orchards or email me directly at jdipolina@lymangolf.com. Thank you.